Alrighty, so let's work on prefabs now. First things first, my scripts are getting a little unorganized. I'm actually going to create a new folder in my scripts folder, and I'll call it collectibles. And I'm just going to put all of these collectible files into my collectibles folder, just for the sake of organization. This max health should probably be called max health collectible, but it's fine. Max health collectible. Move speed, collectible, score collectible. So these all go into my collectibles folder in my scripts folder, just so I'm a little bit more organized. Okay, now let's do prefabs. So you might have noticed when we download other people's work, they have these folders called prefab folders. Prefabs are really useful, and we're going to create our own prefab folder right now. I'm going to right click, create a folder. I'm going to call it prefabs. I'm actually also going to create a folder called uh, web store downloads. And I'm actually just going to move anything I download from the Unity Asset Store into the web store downloads folder. Again, just for more organization. So I have my prefabs folder. It's empty. What a prefab lets you do is it lets you very quickly, you see how I have all these chairs? A prefab lets you very quickly bring in lots of assets like these multiple pots, all of these chairs, all of these tables. They're based on prefabs. There are multiple ways to add new objects. One thing I could do is, let's say I had this heart, and let's say I wanted to put a heart at the table. So maybe you get a heart for like eating is maybe what it represents, and maybe I want to put a heart out in the woods. And let's say I'm working on my game, and maybe I decide, you know what? I think the heart should actually increase. It should heal you by, instead of 10, 10's too low, maybe it'll heal you 50. But now I have to go around to every heart in my game, and maybe I make a huge game with 50 hearts, and I have to manually find each heart, and I have to manually set the heart's values to 50 to manually change everything. That could get really annoying. Same thing with these trees. Maybe I'm like, oh, you know what? I think the tree should be bigger. I could start manually changing each tree, make this one bigger, then make this one bigger. Or if I want to change all the trees at once, these trees are based on a prefab. I can go into the prefab and I can make the entire prefab bigger all at once. And now every single tree in my game simultaneously, I can hit this back button to go back from a prefab back to my game. Now every tree got bigger all at once. Every tree got smaller all at once when I undid that. We could edit the objects individually if we wanted to still. So I still have the control. If I wanted to make this tree different, I could. But the prefab lets us change everything at once. So instead of doing the hearts this way, I'm going to delete this copy I made. And we're going to make a prefab of this heart. And in fact, we'll make a prefab of all of the game objects we just made. So I'll go to my prefab folder. I'll drag my coin into this prefab folder. I'll say it's original. Drag my heart gem into this prefab. I'll say it's original. I'll put first aid into this prefab. I'll say it's original. And I'm going to drag all of these prefabs we made, all of these game objects we made, into the prefabs folder. And now I could drag these prefabs in really quickly. So let's say I wanted to put coins all around my map. I could just drag and drop coins anywhere I want. Maybe this pile of gold is a reward for getting to the top of this mountain. I could put some piles of gold up here to make it really worth, the adventure of coming all the way up here. So I cover the top of this mountain with piles of gold. Why not? Maybe I'll put some thing to help you climb the mountain. I'll hide a jump over here. Maybe I can hide, jump height over here. If you make it that far, you need that to get up the mountain for sure. Maybe I can do, you explore deep into the forest and you get your move speed bonus. Maybe I put another move speed bonus over here. And maybe we just do tons of coins. And you know what? Since I'm doing so many coins, maybe I just grab all of these coins at once and copy these coins and move them over here. Maybe I'll copy these coins again and move them over here. It's a little repetitive, but now we have tons of collectibles all over our game that we can run around and collect. I'm going to delete the ones that spawn because they're all prefabs. And let's test that they all work. Let's test that these all work. So as I walk around, let's see. I'm a little slow, so maybe I'll grab some speed boosts first. I know where I put them. Oh, that flower might not need collision, but that's okay. So I can grab some coins on the way. So we don't have a UI for it yet, but my player score is increasing as I collect those coins. I can grab that move speed boost. Now I'm a little faster as I walk around. Getting some money. We could have these coins drop from monsters later. I grabbed another speed boost. Now I'm going even faster again. And I think I can get up this mountain. That ridge is a little high. Oh, there's a collectible for jumps down here. So I'll go down here. I'll get a jump collectible. Now I can jump a bunch of times. So I'll be able to jump much farther. And I can get a jump height collectible, which will multiply the value of the number of jumps I have. So now I can really, really fly. Okay, I can't get any footing here. Let's see if I could find a place to reset. I'm kind of sliding against this. There we go. I can jump really high. And that would have been hard without all those collectibles we got. But with those prefabs, I could very nicely grab all these things. And if I wanted to change something in those prefabs, instead of changing every coin, maybe my coin should be worth 2. Instead of going and changing every single coin, I can go to the prefab, set the value to 2, and now every single coin, uh-oh. I can go to my prefab. I can, let's do a hypothetical. Let's go to the prefab. Oh yeah, in here. I'm looking at the prefab. The value is 1. Let's set the value to 2. And now if I go back to my game, perfect, there we go. Now the value of all these coins is 2. So I double click on my prefab, I set the value to 2, I can go back to my game, and now all these coins have a value of 2. I can double click this heart gem, maybe 50, maybe I set it back down to 20, 50 was too much, and I can change what these give us. We'll create some NPCs later that we could kill that will drop, health and coins. That'll be cool. We'll add maybe a store that can maybe like increase our damage, or we could buy other collectibles from. Or maybe we buy items, maybe we buy seeds, maybe we become farmers. Who knows? You guys can make any games you want. I'm just showing us the core idea of this is that you can make prefabs of really anything. You could even make a player prefab and then have multiplayer by loading in multiple player prefabs. That could be interesting. But prefabs are extremely useful. And make sure if you're dragging an object into the game, never copy paste anything. Always drag in from prefabs. One last thing, I didn't do this last time, but let's make sure to organize before we end the lesson. I have all these coins and random collectibles now. Let's create an empty folder. Let's call it collectibles. Let's put all of my collectibles into the collectibles folder. And since these things exist in the level, I'll throw them into my level design folder. So I have tree strain. If I want to mess with collectibles, I could open that up. What I could do if I was being a proper game designer, if I was being a very good boy, is I can create another object. I can name it coins. And I could put all my coins into my coins object for even more organization. I could even do, if this was like a AAA game, it would be like, scoring, and then I would put my coins into my scoring collectible, into my scoring object. My scoring object could have another empty object in it called, gold bars. And then all my gold piles could be in the gold bars section. So now I have my collectibles. I can open it up. I can open up scoring collectibles. I can open up gold bar collectibles, and I can look at each one individually. I can look at my coins individually. We want to be very organized. We don't want to have a mess of our hierarchy. That's it for prefabs. If you need any help, make sure to reach out to me. Thank you guys, and have fun.